Welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. Financial markets are evolving rapidly, as too is regulation. Business borrowers and lenders are demanding more from their loan and debt servicing partners. As deal complexity increases, timelines tighten, and the need for flexible, responsive service grows, traditional financial institutions are finding it challenging to keep up. This has created opportunities for specialist independent providers to emerge. One company leading this change is GLAS. Today we're joined by founder and CEO of GLAS, Mia Drennan. Mia, welcome. Mia, how would you describe the current state of the business loan and debt servicing market?
Well, today it's actually quite disintermediated. Not only are the banks still providing some of these services, there's a number of independent, commercially focused loan agents and trustees like GLAS that exist to service predominantly the private credit and alternative credit providers in the market.
We are seeing, aren't we, an increase in independent service providers. Why is that?
It really dates back a few years to the financial crash, which seems like it was a long time ago these days. Really, when the banks tightened down, they had lent lots of money to big companies who then ultimately fell into restructuring or bankruptcy. Lots of aggressive lenders trying to get their money out of the deal, if you think back to the likes of Lehman and so on. And ultimately banks sort of withdrawing from this space through risk and reputation and conflict of interest. And so there was a real opportunity and a real need for an independent business to set up to support these new lenders that were coming into the space. And that's really developed as the alternative credit space has grown over the last 15 years.
So where does GLAS fit in then? How do you address these challenges?
So GLAS is a business that's been set up to be a front office approach to a back office service. Really, what we've been talking about is normally been done by the back offices of banks. So ultimately to introduce efficiency, being client-centric, being very commercial and proactive to provide a really good service to those companies that are borrowing money in the international markets.
So say I'm a potential client. Walk me through, if you would, the journey that I would be on with you from the moment that I contact GLAS.
Sure. Again, how we've set ourselves up is to be very focused on service. So really being able to understand the scope of services that you would want, whether it be through your borrowing through a loan or through a bond or through some other instrument. We have been able to get our compliance team to work with you to work through know your customer in 24 to 48 hours. So that's actually great because a lot of transactions get signed on a Friday afternoon and they're closing on a Monday. And we're able to execute really quickly. Introducing digital technology to provide instant information, data in a safe way, certainly to protect against cyber issues.
And what sets GLAS apart?
Ultimately, it's a sort of dedication to white glove service, being tech enabled and really focused on operating on a global platform across one team so that we can offer a 24/7 service to our clients.
What motivated you to start GLAS? What was the origin story, I suppose, of it?
I was working at a very large American bank who became very difficult to do business with, and being quite a service-driven entrepreneur, I wanted to create my own business. And so I saw a niche in the market as this trend started to emerge and thought, actually, rather than work for another big bank, I could set up my own business. And that really focused on replacing those commercial banks on broken leveraged finance loans and being able to offer a very commercial, proactive service. So that started with £6,000 of capital and 400 meetings around the City of London in the early 2012 to get the first deal.
So clearly very determined. Has that attitude changed at all?
No. Absolutely. I think I've had a great journey and been very, very lucky. And, in terms of having a great team as well to support and build the business with. But, the business has really grown far more than I imagined all those years ago.
What have been some of the key milestones on that journey?
It's too many to choose from, but a couple of things were, after that first deal, it was actually Olympic year that we got our first transaction. And then a year later, we were mandated on a very significant deal for the big old yellow pages, if you remember what that was, which basically was 600 lenders globally around the world, which really put my business on the map and really turned the corner for us. So that kind of proved the business case and the business model. And then really what we sort of took was to sort of broaden our expertise across various range of different financing instruments, but then to really listen to follow our clients. We're a very client-centric business, and to really provide this white glove service. So we opened in the US, in Australia, and then obviously France, Germany, Spain, and the Middle East, and sort of to create this big business. And now over 450 people.
So that was the past. Let's look a little bit to the future. Firstly, what are some of the broader trends that you think are going to be shaping this space? What have you got your eye on?
Sure. I mean, look, everyone's talking about AI. I don't think anybody really knows exactly what that means. Financial services and back office technology has not really had the sort of investment that you would imagine. So I think that we've already been working on that sort of longer view, a future-backed strategy to ensure we have a good plan of digitisation. We're already on a halfway through a digital transformation journey. And also, look, the population is less. There's less people that want to get into these jobs. So really just making sure it's going to be run by technology. We're going to see straight-through processing. We're going to see tokenisation of payments. Obviously, everybody wants data. So all of those combined is you have to be ahead, you have to be offering and be involved with those strategies.
So I assume that's where GLAS is headed next.
Yes, we see the future as becoming a global digital market utility for servicing all kinds of capital markets transactions.
Mia Drennan, CEO and founder of GLAS.